today on the summit, we have Justin Christianson, the co-founder and president of Conversion Fanatics. And Justin, why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of where you came from and how your life is today since creating a business?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we have some value to share. But I started my life in a very small rural town in North Dakota,
Mm-hmm.
a town of 400 people, which is like half the population of the state. So very small farming community, very close-knit, grew up farming and ranching and rodeo, and taught, the value of hard work very, very early on, and taught the value of a dollar very early on, as well as, your word is your bond.
Absolutely.
And a handshake means everything. And that's kind of how I was brought up. Was taught, to go to school, get a good job, that I didn't necessarily need to be into the farming community, but there's better out there for me.
Mm-hmm.
After high school, I went to become an electrician. So I went to trade school.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to my shop teacher in high school, he said I could be good at that. So I went to school as an electrician. That took me down a crazy path of, I was a coal miner on the largest surface coal mine in the world, or in North America, at the age of 20. I traveled around, and I've been a rodeo bull rider. I've been a coal miner. I've been an electrician. I've been all sorts of fun. I toured in a band.
That's awesome.
But I was fortunate that my dad was kind of an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
So always going from,
That's
business,
helpful.
or he kind of made his own way, either
Yeah.
that be from ranching or, from, different business ventures that he had gone into. And, he owned his own heating and cooling business and a bunch of different aspects. So that kind of got me the bug, I guess. And early on I had, the baseball card shop, the lawn mowing service, and did all of the things that kids do.
I remember those.
Yeah. And
myself.
And one day I was working as an electrician, and I was up on a big scissor lift building a commercial building.
Mm-hmm.
And we were on like our 80th hour of the week, and at 21, 22 years old. And I was like, I can't keep doing this anymore.
Good.
I was just physically beat up at 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
And when our foreman came to us that day, I remember it very vividly. I remember exactly where I was. I could picture us working in that building still here, 25 plus years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And him saying, oh, hey, we're going to need to be here by 4 a.m. tomorrow. And this is like 8 p.m. at night already. We're still working. We're trying to finish this job, and we're behind schedule. And we had already been getting there at 5 a.m. So the next day was like 4 a.m. and then working until 10 o'clock at night. And it was just, I was like, I can't keep doing this. So luckily I had kind of been dabbling in network marketing at the time, and failing miserably at it, but I was dabbling in it.
I did that too.
And I found internet marketing on how to generate leads. And I was no good at running into people, into the grocery store and asking them if they wanted to make extra money.
Yep.
So I found internet marketing, found affiliate marketing, and kind of went from there. And I quit actually went back to school from being an electrician. I thought, well, I'll go back for something else. Went back to get my bachelor's degree and just realized I just couldn't do it. I wasn't cut out for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up my business and I quit school. I went back to being an electrician briefly while I was touring in a band. And I decided that I was going to be done. And I found an opportunity to sell cell phones business to business, to kind of allow me more flexibility, and really just get over my fear of being on the phone and being, just blasting into somebody's business and saying, hey, let me help you with your cell phone needs and get your whole company. And that led me to really focusing more on my business at the time, which replaced my income as an affiliate. It wasn't a lot of income at that time, but it was still enough. And 2 months before I got married in 2005, I quit my job.
Awesome.
I went full time. There were tears shed. There were
Fear.
moments of uncertainty because we had both grown up in that, very stable environment of, of having a job and just doing your 40-40 and being done. And I quit, and that was, I guess, I guess we're approaching it right now. So May of 2005 was when I went full time.
Wow.
So I've been doing this, I guess this is almost year 19. Changed a lot of things for me. I've had a ton of ups and downs. Been at the top of the heap, and I've been at the bottom of it. On numerous.
We all.
It's the roller coaster that it is, but I wouldn't change it for a million years because it's afforded me, to not only help myself, my family, live a great life, but it's also helped, our employees, with stability on their jobs and, even all of the stuff that's going on right now. We haven't laid anybody off. We haven't done any of that. And then the trickle down effect is we get to help all of our amazing clients help millions of people with their amazing products and service. So, it's been a bumpy ride through it all, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I'd like to say it's the super flexible, work from anywhere, internet lifestyle type business, but I don't have that. I'm a workaholic. I'm a proud workaholic, but I'm still there.
But I'm getting better in my older age to take care of myself.
Well, I still take care of myself. That's the weird thing. I guess my coping mechanism of everything that's going on is I just put my head down and plow through it and seize the opportunity. And I just work harder. But at the same time, I've been very fortunate and I've made it a point that I'm going to be there for breakfast with my kids every morning, unless I'm traveling, which I try to limit. Obviously right now I can't do any of that, but, and I'm there for dinner almost every single night, and I'm there for bedtime every single night. And it's been that way since they were born, essentially.
Beautiful.
And now my daughter is going to be 10 this year. My son's going to be 8. So I've made it a point to be there through it all, even though I work. And, it might be that, they go to bed and I'm back on my computer, but it's allowed us to do some really cool things and experience a lot of things and do a lot of traveling. And, just my kids have gotten to see a lot of cool things, thanks to me being able to do what it is that I do as an entrepreneur.
That's awesome. And one of the reasons that I wanted you on the summit today was because I loved your story of coming from a small town, because I'm from Prince George, British Columbia, which is 10 hours north of Vancouver in Canada.
That's like not even on a map.
So I know what you mean. It was a little bigger town. We had 30,000 people there. But yeah, I know that small town thing. And I love the fact that you're there for your kids. That was one of the things that was really important to me, because I was brought up in a wealthy family and brought up by my grandparents and my nannies. And so I was one of those latchkey kids. And I didn't want that for my son. I wanted to be there, and he's 18 now, and I've been there every day for him, which is awesome. I love those values. So that's one of the reasons I brought you on here, but also you've done really well. So I value listening to tell us how you get your clarity. What keeps you clear? How do you get your clarity?
Well, I've had a whole heck of a lot of practice at figuring out what works for me. One of the things that I get the most clear on is I have noticed a direct correlation in physical fitness and my personal health to the success or frustration that I'm having in any business venture. So if I find out that I'm struggling, that I'm grinding, that I'm worrying, that I'm overcomplicating things and the pieces just aren't falling into place, that's when I notice that my diet slipped, that I haven't worked out as hard as I need to, that I've, not taken the time to really work on me.
Yeah.
And I've been there. I was 80 pounds heavier than what I am now.
You look great.
Thanks. I work extremely hard on it.
Yeah.
But I found that direct correlation. Anytime I've slipped, it's because I haven't worked on myself. On that side, I also, not only the eating right and working out and exercise and all of that, also helps me show up for my family a lot better.
Yeah.
But it also, I work on my mental game too. So I read a lot of personal development. I do a lot of meditation. I do a lot of things that get my mind off of, work, because it's hard for entrepreneurs. It's hard to shut our brains off.
Oh God, tell me.
I can't count how many times I've woken up at 2 a.m. and be like, oh, great. Now
I got an idea.
Yeah. Or I think about one thing, or I wake up just enough to think about something, and then it's game over. I'm up. So, working like that, from that standpoint. And I just try to shut my brain off as much as possible. So, even recently I've kind of fell in love with music again, and guitar. I've been a guitar player since I was a teenager, but I've never really taken it that serious. Even when I toured in a band, I didn't take it very serious.
Right.
And that was my livelihood for a while. But I find that I can shut my brain off enough that it's not worried about checking email. It's not worried about what's staff doing. Am I missing messages? Am I pushing things forward? I get to shut my brain off for an hour.
You can be in the moment. Yeah. It
is. And I literally, I'll sit down with the guitar. I did last night and played for 45 minutes. And I didn't even realize 45 minutes had gone by. I looked up and I'm like, oh, great. What the heck? So it just allows me to drown out some of those scenarios. So to get my focus, that's really what it is. I work on myself. And the rest of the pieces, as crazy and chaotic as it can be, fall into place. And magically, even though I worry about it, all those things fall into place, and it works. It just magically works out. I tell my business partner that all the time, that, somehow we make it work no matter what. Even times when we were like, how in the heck are we going to make payroll this month, early on in the business, to, where are we going to get our next client, or we need this, or, something dire that we think is dire.
Yeah.
But we always tell ourselves it's way worse than what it really is. And it just magically works out when I just show up every day, consistent, try to work on myself. I've been preaching the same thing for 6 years. I just show up every day. I do the work. I do the same thing. I'm consistent, persistent, and things magically work out. And
beautiful.
I find clarity in kind of the unknown, but also just controlling what I can control. And as long as I can control my physical fitness, my mental health, then, the sky's the limit.
Definitely. Definitely. Which brings me on to the next topic of power or willpower, because we all know, just like you said a little earlier, there are days where we're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Mm-hmm. And so what do you find helps you power through those days when things aren't working out sometimes? What keeps you moving forward?
Really just understanding that it isn't as bad as I think it is. And I really just try to answer the question, why? Mm-hmm. So I first, and I do this is my entire business, is I ask the question, why? Yeah. Literally, that's it. And I try to figure out why every single day, times 1,000, but I try to figure out why. And why did that happen? What can I do? What could I have done to change it? Mm-hmm. And how can I fix it going forward? Mm-hmm. And if I can be a little bit better than I was yesterday, then tomorrow, then it doesn't matter in what area. I don't need to be 100% better. I need to be 1% better. Absolutely. And that could be in, sending one more email, or, helping solve 3 problems for a client, or, just, getting that extra test out, or, something that's just a little bit better. Communicating with the client just a little bit better, or sending that extra report. If I can do that every single day, that compounds. And I think about it too from the perspective that I've never regretted a workout. I've never regretted any of the things that have made me stronger or better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are days that, when we're not completely on isolation, I go to the gym 6 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm at the gym at 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I do that every single day. And there's days that there's no way in hell do I want to get out of bed and go to the gym. And I roll in there groggy, and I do kickboxing. So it's like I'm wrapping my hands, putting gloves on, and there's nothing that I want more than just to go home.
Uh-huh.
And 30 minutes later, it's the best decision ever. And I've never regretted that decision. So I just try to focus on what I can control, try to be a little bit proactive in it and not reactive, because as entrepreneurs, we can be very reactive to a situation or lash out. And I just let the pieces fall. As long as we do our best, give 110%, try to be a little bit better every single day. In fact, I've got it plastered in our office here right by the kitchen. There's a big sign that says or actually it's out in the hall on this side now, but it says Kaizen on it. That's our one of our core philosophies, which is, the art of, consistent daily improvement. And that's what we do every single day. That's our motto, and that's my motto for life.
The name of your company, Conversion Fanatics, right? Mm-hmm. And improving conversion is just making those little changes that make everything happen, right? So it's no wonder that you're great at what you do, because just what you were talking about, little tiny things adjusted along the way make for those huge impacts in a compound level later on.
It is. It's, and I've got a chapter in my book all about that too, about compounding conversions, and that can be applied to anything else.
True.
It's true exponential growth at that point. It doesn't matter what you apply it to. Yeah. You can take it and break it down. You've got your 80-20 Pareto principle, but if there's an 80-20 of that, and an 80-20 of that, and an 80-20 of that, infinitely down, but it also compounds. If you do 1% better every single day, in 100 days or whatever, you're going to be twice as far down the path. So that's just what I try to control, and the better that I can be about controlling that. And I'm notoriously very, very intense. Mm-hmm. I tell every new staff member that comes on that I'm like, don't take it personally. Like, it's not you. I promise. I'm short. I'm to the point. I'm intense at times. It's not because you're doing something wrong. I said, the best compliment I can give you is to stand out of your way. But if I ask questions, then it's not like there's a problem. I just want to know. So that's really it. That's just, it boils down to just trying to be a little bit better every single day.
Love it. Love it. And so our last topic is follow through. Do you have any structures that you put in place? You've got the clarity now, you've got the power. And what structures do you put in place to help you with follow through? Like, for instance, when you commit to doing something or you've decided to do something, what helps you follow through with that?
Well, I'm not normal. So I don't really have, even my business partner will say that all the time. Nobody is going to outwork me.
I believe that.
It's absolutely impossible to outwork me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get more done before 10 a.m. than most people will get done all single day. Sometimes 8 a.m. But I live rigidly by a calendar. So I have my set schedule. I need to be at my desk by 7 a.m. I have a set routine that I go through every single morning to onboard my day. Kind of morning rituals, if you will, but in a business environment. This is after, I did my workout. I'm already showered. I'm to the office. And I live by a rigid calendar. If it's not on my calendar during my working day.
Yeah.
So if I can fit it into between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m., it fits. And that sometimes looks like I'm on the phone every single day, all day, every day. And sometimes it looks like an ink pen blew up on my calendar. But that's my follow through is I work best under pressure and under deadlines. Mm-hmm. So if you tell me, I need to have this by Thursday or Friday, no. But if you tell me Wednesday afternoon that it needs to be done Thursday morning, it'll be done Thursday morning.
Yeah.
But I have to be able to fit it in my calendar. So it was the same way when I was first getting in shape. I would schedule, literally I was at the gym at 2 p.m. and I'd be out, and I would know by the minute almost how long it took me to drive there. And I sound like, very military-ish, but it's not as rigid as that. It's just what works for me.
No,
and if I can schedule it, then I'm good.
I totally 100% agree. And that's the thing, is that I find more freedom in structure. Mm-hmm. When I have solid structures, it actually gives me more freedom, not less, which is kind of weird.
But it's weird for me because I'm that way in business, mm-hmm. but I'm very much could give a shit less on the other side. So in personal life, it's like, I just kind of take it as it comes and we do what we do. And I want a little bit of structure. But it's like, we know what happens, it happens. And I do find that balance in there. And
that's really cool.
Whether that's a fault or not, well, I guess we have to ask my wife that, but
you're still married. So that's a good sign.
It is. And almost for 15 years, almost been married.
Way to go.
But yeah, there's some, method to the madness. And I really just, even during all of the craziness that's happened and helping adjust clients and adjust business and make our changes there, we've started like 2 new companies, during all of this. So it's like, well, when do you have time to do that? It's like, well, I schedule it and
delegate, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've got a big team that handles, the main business side of things, and I just oversee and help manage. And I found myself with some time. So, why not do something else?
Why not? Why not? Awesome. And so tell us about the free gift that you're giving to the people who are listening here today on the summit. I'm excited about it.
And I didn't plan this, but I actually have a copy right here.
I know.
It happens to be on my desk.
Yeah. At first, when I asked you for the lead magnet, you were like, I don't really know. Maybe I'll give him this. And then you said, I'll give him my book.
So a couple years ago, I wrote a book that was fortunate enough to become a bestseller. It's called Conversion Fanatic: How to Double Your Customer Sales and Profits with A/B Testing. And I'll give everybody a free PDF copy. No opt-in, no nothing, just a direct link, which I'm assuming you'll give everybody a link to that. And really, I wrote the book because I was tired of people. And it took me over a year to write it, and it's only 150 pages because I wanted to write it in a tangible way that was no fluff, that could be executed by somebody, even beginner, all the way up to the most advanced marketer. And I've heard praise from all levels, fortunately. And I wrote it just because people were talking about that. I just need more eyeballs on my offer.
Yeah.
That I need more, I just need more people to see what it is that I'm selling. Mm-hmm. And instead of what do I do with those people that are actually seeing it, and how to, and I've grown, companies to, even personal companies, help grow them, to $10 million or more in revenue, just because of optimization. And I wanted to focus on the other piece of the puzzle. And that's, the user behavior once they land on a website. So how to get more out of your marketing efforts through conversion optimization is essentially what it is. And that's what I wrote it. And really, I wrote it to be tangible, no fluff, to the way you can basically flip to any page and get some actionable
out of it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the summit today.
Yeah,
really enjoyed your answers, and take care of yourself, take care of your kids, and keep on rocking.
All right. Appreciate it, Marnie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.